Imagine a line drawn on a map seemingly overnight. A simple stroke of a pen that would forever alter the destiny of a subcontinent and displace over 15 million people. This isn't fiction. This is the story of the 1947 partition of India and Pakistan, one of the most profound and painful events of the 20th century. How did this happen? What led to a division so deep that its aftershocks are still felt today? Let's journey back in time to uncover the complex truths behind this monumental split. For nearly 2 centuries, the vast and diverse Indian subcontinent was under British rule. The British East India Company first established its dominance in the 1700s, which eventually led to direct control by the British Crown to manage this immense territory. The British employed a strategy of divide and rule. In the 19th century, they began officially categorizing the population by religious identity. This wasn't just census data, it was a policy that hardened the lines between communities. What were once fluid identities with Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and others living as neighbors for generations began to be framed as distinct and often competing political blocs. This administrative act sowed seeds of distrust, exaggerating differences and creating a sense of us versus them where it had not been so pronounced before. As the 20th century dawned, the call for independence from British rule grew louder and more unified. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Sardar Patel championed the vision of a single, secular, and united India. However, within this larger movement, another narrative was taking shape. Some Muslim leaders grew concerned that in a Hindu-majority independent India, the political, cultural, and economic rights of the Muslim minority would not be protected. These anxieties were amplified by political events and rhetoric throughout the 1920s and 30s. The idea of a separate homeland for Muslims, once a fringe concept, started to gain serious momentum. The All India Muslim League, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, became the primary advocate for this cause. By the 1940s, they were no longer just asking for safeguards. They were demanding a separate sovereign state called Pakistan, the land of the pure. The stage was set for a dramatic and devastating conclusion to British rule. By the end of World War II, Britain was exhausted. Its empire was unsustainable, and Indian independence was inevitable. The question was no longer if but how . The British government, eager for a swift exit, accepted the demand for partition. The date was set August 15th, 1947. 2 new nations would be born from the ashes of the British Raj, India and Pakistan. Pakistan itself was a peculiar creation, split into 2 wings, West Pakistan and East Pakistan, which would later become Bangladesh, separated by over 1,000 miles of Indian territory. But how do you divide a land so intricately woven together? The task fell to a British lawyer named Sir Cyril Radcliffe. Here's a staggering fact. Sir Cyril Radcliffe had never been to India before. He was given just 5 weeks to draw the new borders, a line that would cut through Punjab in the west and Bengal in the east. This line, which became known as the Radcliffe Line, was drawn based on outdated maps and census data. It sliced through villages, bisected homes, separated sacred sites from their worshippers, and cut farmers off from their fields. The borders were kept secret until after independence was declared on August 15th, 1947. millions woke up to discover they were now on the wrong side of a new international border. What followed was a cataclysm. Panic and fear erupted. It triggered one of the largest and most rapid mass migrations in human history. Imagine the chaos. Families who had lived in their ancestral homes for centuries were suddenly forced to flee. Millions of Hindus and Sikhs, now in Pakistan, journeyed towards India. Millions of Muslims in India began the perilous trek towards Pakistan. They traveled by train, by bullock cart, and most often on foot, in massive, miles-long columns of humanity. This mass exodus was not peaceful. It descended into unimaginable violence. Mobs, incited by fear, rumor, and a thirst for revenge, attacked the columns of refugees. Trains packed with people arrived at their destinations silent, filled only with the dead. Riots engulfed cities and villages. Women faced unspeakable horrors. Estimates of the death toll vary widely, from a few 100,000 to over 2 million. It was a complete and utter breakdown of law and order, a humanitarian disaster of epic proportions. The legacy of partition did not end with the violence of 1947. It created a deep and lasting wound in the psyche of the subcontinent. The two new nations, India and Pakistan, were born in blood and mistrust. This animosity has defined their relationship ever since. One of the most immediate and enduring conflicts arose over the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. Its Hindu ruler opted to join India, despite having a Muslim-majority population, leading to the first of several wars between the two countries. The conflict over Kashmir remains the primary flashpoint, a source of constant tension, a military buildup along the border known as the line of control. This initial conflict set a pattern for the decades to come. India and Pakistan have fought multiple wars and have been involved in numerous military standoffs, including the 1965 and 1971 wars, the 1999 Kargil War, and the tense military standoff of 2001-2002. Both nations developed nuclear weapons, raising the stakes of any potential conflict to a global level. The political, social, and cultural fallout continues to this day. Families remain divided. Stories of loss are passed down through generations, and a sense of shared history is often overshadowed by the narrative of conflict. The partition is not just a historical event. It is a living memory that continues to shape the identity, politics, and future of nearly a fifth of the world's population. The story of the partition serves as a harrowing lesson on the consequences of dividing people along religious lines and the catastrophic human costs of political decisions made in haste. It's a complex history with no simple heroes or villains, but a shared tragedy felt by millions. Understanding this event is crucial to understanding modern-day South Asia. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into a pivotal moment in world history. If you found this video informative and want to explore more such complex stories from our past, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us continue making content like this. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.